Good afternoon, crafters, and welcome to Season 2 of P2PCrafts Presents, brought to you from both Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows. I'm your host, Michelle, Creative Director from Picture to Page, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and papercrafts community. Now, whether you're watching us here at home or live on Facebook, we would love to know that you're there, so pop in the comments and say hi. And of course, we have a whole heap of P2PCraft Presents sessions for you to catch up on. So head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can see all of our creative crafters and guest artists, see all the links to their socials and their website pages, and of course the links to the products that you see live and demonstrating. And we're really excited to have you along here today because we've got something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about scrapbooking. So today, P2PCrafts presents Creative Memories, and Samm. Hello, Samm.
Hi.
It's great
How
to
are you?
have you here.
It's good to be here.
Excellent. So how have you been the last few days?
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting time of the year, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Lots of online events too.
Yeah, good, good. And what are some of the things that have been happening in Creative Memories?
Well, I've personally been doing lots of online virtual workshops through my Facebook group. So you can find a link on the Facebook page for the Facebook group. The virtual workshops are free to participate in. And those that want to participate a little bit more in depth and choose to get a recipe kit. The kits tend to vary for each of the workshops depending on what's been released from Samm, trying to use and enjoy lots of the new products because they've been on fire lately with their new collections.
Ah, excellent. So when you say a recipe kit, what does that include?
So a recipe, I put together recipes out of the new collections. So I will print off project recipes and then divide up the papers, embellishments and whatnot into layout kits. And then I put them in the post that they're arrived ready for workshop day and everyone can use the same kit as if they were at a real workshop. Or if they choose not to get the kit, they can still participate in most of the challenges.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. And there's just something about a kit, isn't there? Because we know everything's going to go together. You've already put the thought into it, and then we can just craft away.
That's it.
Yeah. Excellent. And I do love the idea of posting it out, and so that you've got it there ready for the class as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
lots of early morning trips to the post office.
Yes, yes. And hopefully Australia Post is doing a really good job to supporting you as well.
Sometimes we've had to allow plenty of time for postage because it has been taking up to 10 days for stuff to arrive, but we're getting there.
Yeah, good, good. So Samm, what are you going to show us today?
I'm going to use and play with one of the theme packs, which is a mini kit which has 4 double-sided pieces of designer paper, a sheet of cardstock and 2 sheets of stickers with a project recipe.
Ah, excellent. Okay, well, we'll let you get your camera set up and then we'll get started. Excellent. So kits are really a good way to get started for those of you that may not have got a whole heap of things yourself or you haven't had a chance to build up that collection. So it's a really good way of knowing that you've got exactly what you need. And then by following along with Samm and her demonstrations as well, you know that you can still get really good results. So when we can get all back together again, that we'll have all of those skills under control. So that would be really handy. And it's also another way of giving you some ideas as well of using the kit, but then also expanding that into your crafting tools as well, and then using other bits and pieces to add on to it or create something that's similar. So that's really good. Excellent. It looks like Samm is nearly ready to go. 2 seconds. Okay. So yeah, make sure you pop your name in the comments and let us know you're there. And of course, if you've got any questions as we're going along, let us know as well. And we will do our very best to answer them. So, okay, Samm, are you ready?
I'll just turn my light on and then sure.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I'll hand over to you. Take it away.
Okay, so this is the Open Road theme pack, which has 4 double-sided sheets of paper, your cardstock and 2 sheets of stickers. So we've got our 2 sheets of stickers which have borders and sayings. Then we've got our papers. So they're all double-sided. awesome colours. So one side has mats and borders as well, depending on what you want to do with the layout.
And has that got little caravans on it? How cute.
It does. It's got a little combi and a little caravan. So
Excellent.
even papers, these papers, you could cut this into strips and use it as borders. So lots of ideas and lots of ways to use it. Some little maps. Lovely sort of teal cardstock. So today we're going to do the vitamin C recipe, which is one of our new collections that has been released, but it has been so popular and flown off the shelves that at the moment I'm sold out and we're waiting on more to arrive in the warehouse. So we'll be playing with this recipe today, which involves 4 sheets of paper and some fun tools. So on the recipes, they're colour-coded. So you can see on the front that you've got the sizes that your photos need to be, and then you've got the colours coordinating with which paper gets cut as which. On the back, you have your paper measurements and the things that you will require, as well as optional add-ons, which is sort of extras that you might add. But because we're using the theme pack, everything's included that you might need for it. So first things first, deciding which papers you want to use for which. So today I think I'm going to use my combis as my background. And use the squiggles and my borders around the top. So first things first, we cross over. Both pieces of paper will get cut the same, and there's 2 for the underneath and your base and 2 to cut. Best trimmer ever. Our 12-inch, well, it is 12-inch, but it's 13 inches long and it has a 16-inch arm rotary trimmer. It's got safety blades in it, which means when you're changing them, you can't accidentally cut yourself because all the blades need to be pressed out. You can get different kinds of blades for the trimmer and interchange them, and they all store neatly underneath. So there's all the different kinds of blades you can get for it. I'll move my base pieces to the side so I don't have to cut on them. First cut needs to be around the edge. It's 1.5 inches. So with the trimmer, it's easy to see that you've got different measurements because you've got centimetres and inches. And on the side of the trimmer here, you've got a mark. So that is where the blade will start cutting. So to cut around the edge at 1.5 inches, we can move it down to our 1.5 inch line here and know that we start cutting there. And then we cut to our corner. Now, I'm going to do this way. Flip it over, and again, 1.5 inches. I will move it to the 1.5 inch mark and cut straight down, which gives you a straight cornered piece ready for your page layout. So then I'll do the next cuts, which is, I need to cut 2 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 and I've got to punch a border first. So today I might play with pretty birds. These are the border punches. So you can line the paper up with the little black marks on the inside, and then you push it through and line it up with the silhouettes outside. So depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed will depend on which side of the punch you push towards, as there's silhouette on both sides. So then our next cut needs to be the force photo mats. So we need 4 1/4. Sorry, 6 1/4 this way. 4 1/4 this way. So we put scraps over the side so I don't mix them up. Now we need a 3 1/2. By 4 1/4. Do the same thing with our second sheet. So that it's moving. Again, we go to the 1 1/2. Then we line it up with our white line on the side. I'll punch my bottle. Now the border punches are really great because they're not just specific to scrapbooking. And because they all line up and using the silhouettes, it means if you're cutting a shorter length, you can cut it for cards or other kinds of paper crafts as well. I like all the pieces cut. About 2 base pieces. One more thing I do to these, just down in the corner, is we cut the slight flag. So it's going to cut just up from the end. So I'm going to use the edge of the trimmer here as my guide on the cutting strip. And then I'll use the angled lines on the mat. Flip it over. Same thing. Get the flag piece.
Well
So on
done,
our
Sam.
page,
That's a very tricky cut.
so it'll sit on the page like that. This one. Then we'll line it up with the angle. Flip it over. There we go. So then on the front you have your colours as to which page is which. I've decided to sort of match it up a little bit more so that it's a mirror image rather than topsy and turvy. Cut these ones a little bit too big. Now, depending on how OCD you are, would probably depend on how much you try and line the roads up. But as I'll end up with photos on mine, you won't see the roads as much. Then we've got a nice, quick, easy layout using just 4 sheets of paper and double, which means 8 photos, making the most of your papers.
Excellent. That's very clever.
It is. So I will stick down the borders using a couple of different kinds of tape we have. First up we have our regular tape runner, which is just the strips of double-sided tape, and you don't need very much because it works really well and it goes a long way. Then for smaller pieces, we have a tape runner which is minis. Which is tiny, tiny, tiny little strips of adhesive. Right. And for the finer things like the borders and the edges, we have what's called the repositional tape runner, which is really, really fine, clear glue dots, which only stick to your paper.
Ah, that's clever.
And if you put them on the wrong side, they just rub off. Without leaving a mark, and you wouldn't know you would be none the wiser. So if you're not particularly a birds person, another option would be using, or a large border punch person, another option to use is the Border Maker system, which has cartridges. So these are the punch cartridges. You slide the rounded side into the holder, and so that the knobs are poking out. And then we grab a piece of paper. We unfold out the guide underneath, flip up the flap on the top to reveal the magnetic strip. The paper slides in and then snaps closed, and the magnet will hold the paper in place. When you slide the punch underneath, the paper will slide in, but you know you're not in the right spot because the knobs will line up in the grooves. If you're a visual person, on the top you have a little marker that lines up on the top of the guide and the top of the punch. That way, if you accidentally skip along, you can go backwards and it'll line up perfectly. Alternatively, if you're not a bird person, you could use something a little slimmer like that. Automaker system and the trimmer arm are personal favourites in any Papercrafters collection. They make very quick and easy cards, layouts, and all the rest of it. So I will stick my square down. Did the normal one? Any one which one you want, you could go for that too. Oh, fudge. Wrong side. Oh, there he is. My best friend, the magic multi-purpose tool. Perfect for pulling off adhesives. This would be any scrapbooker's hero. The multi-purpose tool comes to the rescue all the time. Push it down just yet. I'll make sure I place everything I want. reason they get their repositional name is because if you put something in the wrong spot, you can slightly adjust it. Just straighten my birds. Then add photos and finish with stickers. So that's a nice, quick, easy layout using minimal paper. So of our paper, there's very little waste. That's about it.
That's amazing.
No one likes wasted paper.
Definitely not.
So I might add some stickers and that and finish it a bit later. I've got to head to work.
Excellent. Okay, I'll give you a moment to turn the camera around.
No worries.
Excellent. So wasn't that amazing? And as Carmel said, wasn't it just fantastic how the road pattern came together as well? So by cutting it through those steps and knowing that those pieces of paper would still match, it was just a really good way of being able to put that layout together. And how amazing is that cutting tool to be able to line it up and cut those little flags at the end? I think that was just incredible. And of course the tape runners as well, to be able to get that level of detail of the final ones and the repositional dots was incredibly clever. So Sam, thank you so much for joining us today. That was fantastic.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. And I do think that Creative Memories have done a really fantastic job with their tools. The cutter's so clever, the punches are just so clever.
It is. We are certainly known for our tools and their longevity. They are lifetime tools.
Yeah.
So most people find when they get a CM tool, that's it. They're sold. They're lovers.
Yeah.
And they generally won't have to replace it for a very, very long time. I've got people, and including myself, that still use personal trimmers and punches and border maker systems that are 15 years old or older. Wow. Still sharp as a tack.
Yeah. Fantastic. So if we want to find out more about your recipes and kits, where can we find you?
You can jump onto my Facebook page, which is Sam Campbell CM Advisor.
Yep, and we've got a link above this video here as well.
Or you can also jump in and find the link to the group on the Facebook page, and it's not too late to actually jump in the group and complete some of the challenges. Okay. So you can have a scroll through the group and complete some of the page challenges to get yourself into prize draws that will be drawn on Saturday.
Excellent, excellent. And so, yeah, when is your next class coming up?
My next class will be Saturday.
Excellent. And
so what I do with the workshops is when I do the workshops, there's usually a week or 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks after the event that challenge posts are open to entries. And then I will draw the prizes from the previous workshop at the next workshop.
Excellent, excellent. And so what else have you got coming up that everyone can look forward to?
I've got a couple of virtual workshops, and hopefully in July we will be able to go ahead with a real workshop, but virtual workshops will still continue for those that aren't ready to venture out just yet.
Yeah, it's good to have a balance, isn't it?
The numbers are changing, so the virtuals will keep coming until we know for sure we're allowed out.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us today and showing us your fantastic layout with your very clever tools.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Sam. And thank you, crafters, for joining us today as P2PCrafts Presents Creative Memories. I hope that really inspired you to get back onto some of your unfinished scrapbooking projects. And then if you are looking for some new tools, really do consider those Creative Memories ones, because those cutters and punches have had so much thought put into them, and they really are very robust and very handy. So of course, if you've missed any of the details, head over to our website from picture2pageandbeyond.com.au, where you can see the replays. You'll be able to get all the links to Sam's Facebook and website pages, and of course catch up on any of the sessions you haven't seen, as well as see who's coming up over the next few weeks. So this is Michelle signing off. We hope you have a crafty day.